Oh, hey, Matt.
Dude.
How's it going, bud?
My name is Matthew Sanford. I'm actually a yoga teacher, but I'm paralyzed from the chest down. I was in a car accident when I was 13. My father and sister were killed, but I went through a shredder. I survived. My mother and brother were in the car, but they weren't physically hurt. And so that started I was in a coma for 3.5 days, woke up from the coma to a completely changed life. And I started yoga because I just had to find my body again. Running against time, man.
When I'm on stage and I'm performing, if I'm performing something that happened to me at a younger age, my body will do the same thing it did when that happened to me. And so part of the difficulty of performing is that can at times mean clenching, that can at times, my body will do things that aren't conducive to being on stage. And so I need to be in touch. I need those two worlds to be speaking to each other so I can perform it without hurting myself.
He is in more pain than any of you know. He can say it to you, you don't know. Having the kind of phantom pain that he has is incredibly draining.
A lot of times my body will lead a story because I think we house everything that happens to us in our bodies.
And we're obviously talking about stories of healing and trauma and loss, you know, and living with the lives we do. But you know, it is like scars are a monument to something survived, but it's also what your body had to do to survive. It's not so much trying to get this arm to move like this arm or this arm to move like that arm, right? But to try to figure out how these communicate in a way that's more graceful. Because one of the things that I know is that there's a feeling of this just kind of dissipates into nothingness, right? There's actually you needing to have more reference here so your mind doesn't have to be the one that's swimming through the abyss.
That's so true. I mean, I have to sleep on this side.
Right.
For that exact reason.
Otherwise, your mind's going to swim through the abyss, and that's going to keep you awake.
I can't believe you know that. I mean, that's the only way I can sleep is on this side for that very reason. So
we got to figure out over time, in waking time, how to continually have this reference. When I'm touching Kevin, I kept touching his shoulder and showing him where it was. I'm trying to help him feel a connection in what he thinks is emptiness. And because he's experiencing it as loss and emptiness, is part of why it keeps him awake at night. The abyss keeps you awake.
This is incredible. I mean, this really, it feels like a discovery, but it isn't. It feels a personal discovery.
But that's part of
I think with Matt, it's the combo platter. I mean, you come in and it's not just about healing, you know, the parts that are obviously needing healing, but it's connecting them with the parts that are long for their missing compadres. And so that it's bringing them back together. It's bringing things that have lost back home.
Almost literally, Kevin got one side of his heart ripped out this way and then put back. And he's probably, unfortunately, a better storyteller because of it. Or fortunate for us.